Hey everybody, welcome. I want to start tonight with a video. I'm going to play a short video for you guys, and then we're going to begin the burn. But tonight I want to play this little video really quick before we get started. So let me move this off.
Bernie is back, getting into the presidential race.
Democrats like somebody new, and that is not going to be Bernie Sanders this time.
It's really hard to imagine who the Bernie Sanders voter is at this point.
Bernie Sanders, fall back. Please get away from us.
Senator, great to see you. Thank you for doing this.
He has a kind of gruff, curmudgeon-y side that is, of course, well known. He doesn't actually smile that much.
It's almost like Bernie can't tell the difference between kids and adults.
All right, I think you're dumb. I think you're dumb if you don't sit down and learn how to read and write. No, you were not born stupid. Come here. The only way I think you're dumb, I think when you think you're dumb, because you're not.
He also, I think you're disheveled, you're unlikable, and you're pushy, and I don't think you should be leading anybody.
How old is too old?
I think the issue is, do you seem like you're in the contemporary world? He's a socialist from the 1950s yelling at people in the same screechy voice, without smiling, without any kind of personal connection. He looked like the angry man in the center of the stage saying, "Get off my lawn." And I don't think that's a good look for the Democratic Party.
I see him as sort of a not pro-woman candidate. You may have heard the term Bernie bro. The Bernie bro, right? Somebody who's a bit younger, whiter, I think, than the overall Democratic primary.
I'm with my magnificent vanilla brother named Bernie Sanders. That's brother Bernie Sanders we're talking about. That's brother Bernie Sanders we're talking about.
Socialism has been a manifest disaster.
Alec would still be here today if I had known that I could come to Canada.
Alex Smith died after trying to ration a vial of insulin when he couldn't afford more.
So his idea about, free health care, he has seen the manifest atrocities that have occurred under socialism.
$1,000 got me 6 months of insulin for my son. That's still less than what I pay a month in the United States.
Gloria Steinem has suggested that younger women are supporting Bernie Sanders so they can meet boys.
Hello, Bernie. We lost our condo, got foreclosed on because of my medical bills.
I don't understand young women who support him.
I trust that Bernie Sanders is going to fight for health care and to lower prescription costs.
Of all the presidential candidates, you're the one that I trust.
Thank you so much for what you're doing. You're just giving us a help. Thank you. And we got your back.
I think he comes off as mean. I think he's disparaging.
Love you.
I don't want to overpromise here.
Bernie Sanders makes my skin crawl, and I can't even identify for you what exactly it is.
Bernie Sanders has done nothing between 2016 and today.
Thank you for everything you've done these last few years. You've helped to reset our political discourse, and are demanding that we center our politics around justice and equity. I am hopeful because right now, there is a mass movement of people from all over this country rising up.
Thank you all very much.
It ain't Bernie, it is us.
If we come together, we will win.
People always say, oh, You're being too vocal.
Hey, Bernie, you don't have to yell.
I don't feel I'm being vocal enough. We are not being vocal enough. When is enough enough?
He sounds very, very shouty.
Louder. Yeah, we gotta get louder. How many kids are gonna have to make this sacrifice and die? How can you sleep at night knowing that kids can't afford insulin? How is that possible?
It's not right.
I wanted to start off the burn with that video tonight. That is my favorite Bernie video, motivational video. That video is by Matt Orfella. I'm terrible with names, but Matt Orfella. And he makes some amazing videos. Check out his channel. But hey Steve, hey Dolores, hey Jack. Good to see some people here on Facebook. Jeannie, sorry about that. Says only Bernie will do. Only Bernie will do. We are not coming to negotiate. We are not looking for middle ground. We will not accept any of these other candidates, any of these other shills that they're trying to peddle onto us. But thanks for coming. Please share. Please get this out. Get this out to a wide audience. This is a motivational show for the political revolution. And check us out on YouTube. I shared the link to my Facebook feed. And check out my YouTube channel. That's a good way to help me out. If you want to help build my show, check out my YouTube and subscribe. And if you're here on YouTube, click like and hit subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notified when we make new videos. Even though I hear that the notification sometimes doesn't work very well. But I have a burn plan for you guys like we always do. I'm going to go through my burn really quick, and then we will get into some other stuff. I've got some websites pulled up I want to look at and show you, and different things like that. But I love that video. That video I find very inspirational. And that's what we need to do, is create hope and belief with videos like that, and with things like this show, and with this positive message. We need to do things like that constantly, as often as we possibly can, and take full ownership. Hey Dion, take full ownership of this situation, of this fight. Realize that it's us that has to do it. Jack says he shared. Steve shared. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. But we have to do all that we can to make this happen. And it's funny because we are painted as babies, and we are called irrational and unreasonable and all kinds of things. Bernie bros, that's something they like to call us. Even though according to our statistics, we're 60% women, they call us Bernie bros. They like to say that everyone's young and doesn't know any better, when most of our supporters are older people and people over 40. I'm over 40. I host a motivational show for the political revolution, a grassroots, independent motivational show for the political revolution. It's a bunch of people like me doing all that we can is what's happening here. Because we are the real grown-ups in this room. We understand what's actually happening. We understand that this must happen now. That this change that we're pushing for, that what we're trying to do here with this political revolution, and this is a revolution, this is a fight, that this must happen. But the average person is dumbed down to a level that is absolutely frightening. They love to say, vote blue no matter who, even though we can clearly see that that means vote blue as long as it's not Bernie. They don't really believe in voting blue no matter who. They believe in keeping the status quo, keeping everything the way it is. They don't want change. They want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. But if you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always got. You can't expect different results from doing the same thing that you've always done over and over and over again. Voting blue no matter who, that is the irrational argument. You understand? We're at a crisis point. We are at a point where this must happen, where this fight that we're in, this revolution, must move forward and must succeed. And they're telling us to accept the way it's always been. That is insanity. And if they were really vote blue no matter who, they would rally behind their clear front runner. Because as I'm going to show you, even the mainstream media, even CNN, the Clinton News Network, is featuring that Bernie is the favorite to win the nomination. But like I said, you can't keep doing what you've always done and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. We're being rational. We know that massive change is needed here. This greed that lords over us is killing people. We can't let that continue. And we understand something else. We know that this is not an election. This is a revolution. This movement that we're in right now, this push towards massive change, is a revolution. This must happen. We know that we have to rise up to make it happen. And we know and understand that this is our fight. And the time is now. This must happen now. We cannot wait for a better opportunity. There is no better opportunity. Net says they can say whatever they want. I'm voting for Bernie. We have vetted the candidates. You know, and if you truly vote blue no matter who, if you really don't care, sit out the primary. Sit out the primary. Let us vet the candidates. We'll pick the best one, and then we can move forward towards victory. If you really want to beat Donald Trump, let's pick the winner here. Don't let them steal an election. Those of us watching this show, those of us that would watch this show and gather for a show about the political revolution, already understand what's at stake here and how important this is. And that we must do this. We must make this happen, that we must. Not Bernie. You know, a lot of people get caught up on that, and they think that's Bernie doing it. This is our fight. That's what we understand. That's why we win. That's why we're so powerful. That's why, if you really are blue no matter who, and if your main concern is beating Donald Trump, you need to support this revolution. Tell me why you won't. I beg, I invite people that are against this revolution to these feeds. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you have a problem with, really. What's your fear? You know, a lot of it is fear. People are afraid of change. They don't want to move forward. They don't want to advance. Steve says YouTube's looking good. This show is also on YouTube, and I'm going to share the link because YouTube allows a lot of cool things, and I'm going to add that to the feed on Facebook. Come to the YouTube channel and support the YouTube channel. I want this show to grow on YouTube and spread out more. So support us on YouTube. But this revolution must happen, and we take ownership of it. That's why Trump's afraid of us. Trump has outright said he's afraid of us. He has said he does not want to run against Bernie Sanders. Trump understands that there is much more to Bernie than Bernie. Bernie comes with millions of supporters willing to fight and put in work to make this happen. And we understand that if you want to achieve greatness, You have got to stop asking for permission. We will have to take this. We understand that. That's what we talk about every day. We will have to take this. They will not give this to us. We will have to take this by force. We will have to overwhelm them. And this is Bernie or vest. We are well beyond Bernie or bust. This is Bernie or vest. This is do or die. This must happen. This must happen. That's why it will. Because millions of us understand that it must. And millions of us are committed to the Bernie or vest level. All the way. 100%. That's what it's going to take. We must overwhelm them. And when it comes to direct action, to having our butts in the streets, vested up, we better be ready to be there and rise up. That is what's going to make this happen. We are going to have to take this by force. Force of our numbers. Don't get me wrong, I'm not calling for pitchforks and torches. Although, if a peaceful revolution is made impossible, violent revolution will become inevitable. So, that's important to understand. That's the truth. It's not me making that up. That's a John F. Kennedy quote. There's a lot of truth in that quote. This is a peaceful revolution. But we have to understand it's going to take us overwhelming them. Because what they're going to try to do is stop Bernie from getting 1,990 delegates. He's going to win all these states. We're going to cover that coming up in Know Your Enemy. He's going to win all these states coming up. He's going to crush this primary. And they're still going to try to rig it. This is going to come to us having our butts in the streets. And the yellow vest, that shows a message of solidarity. I really believe in the Bernie or vest movement. Please look into that. That is an actual page on Facebook, a movement. Look into Bernie or vest, because that's what this is. That's what this is at. Where this is at. This is a Bernie or vest situation. It's going to take to us taking to the streets. This will take us doing all we can and giving this fight all that we've got. So go to BernieSanders.com. If you're not already volunteering and doing all you can to move this fight forward, go to BernieSanders.com and check it out. See if there's some way that you can help out by volunteering. There's tons of ways to volunteer for the campaign. Many things you may not have even thought of. From things that are very involved to things that don't take much time to do at all. And donate any amount. If this moved you at all to give to the Bernie Sanders campaign, I would really appreciate that. Just donate to even $1. This is a publicly funded, publicly driven, grassroots fight to take back our government, to take back society, to move this forward, to give us an actual future. But it's going to take massive amounts of work. And we must lay it all on the line here and never back down and never quit. And we want to change the world. That's what we're trying to do here. And we can. But it will take hard work. We have to understand that perseverance and determination in the face of massive resistance is what it's going to take to make this happen. And they're going to say that it can't be done. They're going to say it's impossible. You can't have Medicare for all. You can't guarantee health care as a right to every citizen. We can't do that. Hey, Nissa, thanks for coming to YouTube. We can't do that. We can't guarantee health care to people. How could we do that? That would mean we'd have to stop with all our greed. Well, that's exactly right. And that's why we're going to have to take this. It's impossible to them because they don't want to give up all the billions of dollars that they're siphoning off society at the expense of real people that are dying because they can't afford their treatments and their medications. So everything's impossible until it's done. Impossible is nothing. We can do this. We will do this. We must do this. We are doing this. Look at what's happening. We're the front runners. In a crowded field that is flooded and on purpose so they can keep Bernie from getting those 1,990 delegates. That's what they need to do. They need to stop Bernie from getting 1,990 delegates. If they can do that, they can force a contested convention. And what they'll do, I really believe at this point, what they'll do is combine Bloomberg with somebody else and try to sell that as a power ticket to beat Donald Trump and force that on the American people. I believe that's where this is heading and what's going to happen. Steve says if unions didn't have to negotiate health care, they would be free to negotiate for higher wages. This is going to free up a lot of things for unions and things like that, and make things easier for small businesses. Universal health care is the better way to go. It makes more sense even financially. That was proven. The Koch brothers did a fantastic study. I highly recommend it. They didn't mean for it to turn out the way it did, but it shows that Medicare for all actually makes more financial sense and is the smarter way to go. Not only is it the morally right way to go, it is the financially smarter way to go. It makes more sense. The only thing that can't survive in a Medicare for all driven system is the greed. More people would definitely live better lives, healthier lives. Everyone I know, they're working people, and they can't afford to get proper treatment, proper medicine, and pay for their medications. You know, you probably know somebody in your own life that's rationing medicine. No matter what it is, some of this medication is all that's keeping them alive, and they're rationing it because they can't afford it. That's disgusting. That can't go on. That can't be allowed to continue. And these people that are fighting back against us, Pete Buttigieg, Mike Bloomberg, these establishment shills, Elizabeth Warren, who has done some disgusting amounts of backstabbing. You know, I was pretty sure that we had seen the best of Elizabeth Warren's backstabbing already, but it seems we'd only seen the tip of the iceberg. Steve says early voting in California starts Saturday. Right on. I was going to get into some Bernie events here in a little bit too. I'm going to try to bring back those segments. Know Your Enemy and Bernie events. Now that we can handle it, we've got a new system, thanks to the viewers, and thank you to the people that support this show. There are many ways to support the shows that we do here, and I really appreciate that. This show's about the political revolution, but I just wanted to point out that because of the new computer, we can bring back these segments. So that's really cool. Jack says, I just spread the word without being a volunteer. That doesn't make sense, since I guess it does to me. That is, I'm going to love that comment. That is being a volunteer, Jack. Just because you're not officially signed up, you are fighting in this revolution. You are a warrior in this revolution. You are doing what it's going to take to move us forward. It's going to take millions of people doing real work and putting in real effort, informing people. And that's what's going to make this happen. That's what's going to grow a revolution. That's why it's going to grow, because we understand that. And you don't have to officially be a volunteer, so I love that comment. Jack says, we are really tired of living paycheck to paycheck. We are tired of being held down and oppressed. Society is rising up. It's happening all over the world. The media is trying their best to hide it, but it's happening all over the world. You know, it's not just in France with the Yellow Vest protests, but that is as spectacular example, the Yellow Vest protests. And I really do think that we should emulate that in the fight moving forward. I don't know what that does. Nissa says, my granddaughter is a diabetic. Washington State rocks, thank God. They have good regulations on the price of insulin in Washington. I've heard that California does as well. But there's a lot of people that aren't fortunate enough to have that. And even with the regulation, I'm sure it's still overpriced. I don't know how comparable it is to, let's say, Canada. But a vial of insulin in Canada is like 10 times cheaper than it is here. There's medication that we pay 16 times more for than they do in other countries. They don't know what it's like to suffer over not being able to afford proper medical care. And an important thing to remember in Bernie's Medicare for All, Medicare is a very popular program, by the way, an extremely popular program, but Bernie's program is going to include dental and vision. That is an important part of health. You know how out of reach dental care is, for example, to a lot of people, to a lot of Americans? And how important it is? You can die from improper dental health. And I believe in fighting for people that aren't me. Fighting for those that are less fortunate. Washington State gets free health care. I'm moving. That settles it. I got to tell Babels. I got to announce it to Babels. We're going to have to move to Washington State. There's a lot of reasons, but that's a good one. I didn't know that. See? I don't know everything. You could just about squeeze into the Grand Canyon everything I don't know. Nissa says if you make less than $2,400 per month, you get free health care. Right on. That's a good program. We're trying to make it to where the entire country has free health care and dental and vision and bring justice to society. That's what we're doing here. Jack says, I got some people that supported Trump that are going to vote for Bernie if he wins the nomination. Fantastic work, Jack. They go to Mexico for dentists. Do you know how many people go to Mexico for dental work? By the way, if you need dental work, that's a fantastic option. Jack's right. Because they don't fleece for dental care there. It's good dental care, and you get it much cheaper than you can here in the United States. But people are heading to Mexico to get dental work done because of the Nissa says you get dental too. California, Oregon, Arizona do too. Oh, right on. I guess I'm not very well informed. But that's good information. Thanks for sharing it. But people do. They go to Mexico for dental work because it's so priced out of our range in the United States. It's disgusting. But real quick, I'm going to switch sets, and I want to take you guys over, and I want to look at a couple of web pages. I pulled up some stuff I wanted to show. This is from CNN, and hopefully you can see this. I'm still getting some of the settings correct and making sure you can see this. But this is actually from CNN about why Bernie Sanders is the current favorite for the Democratic nomination. And of course, it gives reasons in the article why that would be the most horrible thing to ever happen in life. But they're admitting it. The things that make me sick in this article, though, have to do with this guy, Michael Bloomberg, who is literally buying this election. And we'll get to that in a little bit. There's an article on Fox I wanted to show you about Bloomberg. But yeah, an article from CNN where they're admitting that Bernie is the front runner. Not only the front runner, but the favorite for the Democratic nomination. So you have to admit, you have to wonder exactly what they'll do to put a stop to that happening. because that would be the worst thing that could happen for the establishment. The very worst thing they could imagine would be for Bernie Sanders to clinch the Democratic nomination, to take control of the Democratic Party, because that would motivate millions of people. Our movement will become unstoppable at that point, and that would terrify them to death. They're afraid right now. Having to run articles like this terrifies them, because CNN is establishment, and we all know that establishment media is nothing but weaponized propaganda. But they're having to admit it now, and I think that's beautiful. But real quick, while I'm thinking about it, I want to show you where to go if you want real news on the Bernie Sanders revolution. This is the Burn Notice. And even on the Burn Notice, which is the Bernie Sanders official newsletter, they're focusing on Bloomberg. Bloomberg is buying his way into this election. He is trying to purchase our democracy. He intends to spend $1 billion. He has spent $350 million so far. And I think he is going to be our threat when we get to convention time. I really do. And the campaign is taking him seriously. But they have been ripping him apart. So come to the Burn Notice if you need good hits on Michael Bloomberg. And as they got them all centralized right here for you. They talk about his stop and frisk program, how he opposes raising the minimum wage, push for Social Security cuts. He's everything people fear in Donald Trump. The only reason why you're not afraid of him is because he's got a D next to his name. This guy is an oligarch. He's the 9th richest man in the world, and he's trying to buy the nomination. He is qualified for the next Democratic debate because he bought his way in. They say he's surging in the polls because he's buying his way into the polls. He's manipulating these polls. These polls can be bought and manipulated, and they are on a regular basis. I don't know why anybody pays any attention to polling anymore anyway. Hasn't the media bent over backwards to show you without a shadow of a doubt that they can't be trusted or relied upon at all? Haven't they done absolutely everything to show you that? But right here, Bloomberg's poll numbers soar with spending surge. This is from Fox. He is buying ads at a tremendous rate. $1 million a day he's spending on ads. And you can't watch a YouTube video right now without a Michael Bloomberg ad. It's crazy, the amount of ads this man is running. But they're showing right here in this graph that his rise in the polls matches his ad buys. But I am telling you, he is paying to manipulate those polls at a standard rate, because all they have to do is sell you a believable story. And they're trying to make it believable that Michael Bloomberg has massive support. When we know he doesn't, we know there's only one candidate with any real support, and that's Bernie Sanders, who has a grassroots army behind him. But this Michael Bloomberg is buying these stats. These polls are manipulated. I'm 100% sure of it. But Michael Bloomberg is trying to buy democracy out from underneath of us, buy his way into being the Democratic nominee. Has even talked about, I don't know if they'll have it here, having Hillary Clinton. Yeah, this is an article about it. Having a Hillary Clinton ticket, co-running with Hillary Clinton.
I think he's an elitist that
This is the founder of Black Lives Matter mocking the Bloomberg Clinton potential ticket. He has talked about changing his residency so that he can run with Hillary Clinton. This guy is establishment to his core. He is an oligarch. He is our enemy. But check out the burn notice. They have a lot of really good stuff already in place and organized for you. You know, about his ties to Wall Street, his fight against making billionaires pay more in taxes, and how he's supported many and bankrolled many Republicans. One quick Google search tears Mike Bloomberg to shreds. But what's going to happen is they're going to try their best to make sure that Bernie doesn't get the 1,990 delegates. If they can do that, they can force a contested convention, and they can try to install who they want. And that's when it will become important for us to rise up and take ownership and be there and make a presence known. We have to show force every opportunity, every chance, every polling opportunity, every caucus, every primary. Always overwhelm them with our numbers. But there will come a time when we need to be there physically. We need to embrace that idea. But real quick, before we get back to checking out the comments, because right now I can't see what you're saying, but we are going to go through the comments. So please comment, take part in the show. I wanted to get into Bernie rallies coming up. There is a rally in California, the Get Out the Early Vote rally on Friday, February 21st. So this Friday, there will be a huge rally in Bakersfield, California. So the itinerary is 3:30 p.m. in the Spectrum Amphitheater. And the doors open at 2 p.m. And like all the Bernie events, it's free and open to the public. Tickets are not required, but an RSVP is encouraged. Interest is, of course, first come, first serve. So get there early. But this should be huge. We just had a tremendous rally. A few tremendous rallies. Huge rallies. The campaign is working their butt off. This here is about how the Michigan staff expansion and 5 new office openings. This blog is really good. I use this blog to cover Bernie events and to stay up to date on Bernie events. But there's a lot of ways you can stay up to date on Bernie events. One is to watch this show every day. Another is to text Bernie to 67760, and that will enroll you in the official texting program of the campaign. But let me bring the set back so I can. Text Bernie to 67760, and that will enroll you in the texting service. But that was my attempt. We'll get better at it, at bringing back those segments. We used to do Know Your Enemy, where we would look at the mainstream media and Bernie events. So I wanted to bring those back in some way and see how that would go. So that was the test run of bringing that stuff back. I also need to learn how to do smoother transitions from scene to scene. Jack says that Bloomberg got $2 billion back in federal taxes. That's disgusting. Steve says Crystal Ball on the Rising is good coverage. I like her. That is disgusting, Jack. Steve says, what idiot is going to vote Bloomberg? It's disgusting. All they have to do is create the illusion that he has support. And they're going to do that by buying the media, buying votes. He's literally buying votes, buying people and paying them to participate in caucuses and go to rallies and all kinds of stuff. He's spending a ton of money. Jack says, I saw in the news that if someone chose her for VP, that they might not be alive very long. You saw that on the news? That is hilarious. Jack says Bernie packed the Tacoma Dome. That rally was amazing. The attendance at that rally was unreal. You have got to check that out. Nissa says, preach, bro. That's what this show's about. And we gather every day at 7. I'm not wrapping up. We're going to hang out for a little while longer. I want to hear from you in the comments. Please participate and let me know what's on your mind. But we do this every day at 7. This is a motivational show that I created because I wanted there to be something like this for those of us fighting in this political revolution, trying to change our government and our society into something that works for the people. what we're doing here is tremendous. And I cannot wait to see us succeed. I cannot wait to see this all come to fruition. I believe in this so deeply. I believe we're going to make this happen. And all we need is enough people that believe that to that level and are willing to do everything they can to make this happen, to make this a reality. We need millions of people standing united and determined to do all they can to make this happen, to make this a reality, to make this the change happen, to make it, to force it. We have to force it. We cannot expect them to give it to us. And that's why I wanted to make a motivational show for the political revolution, to remind everyone that we have to be what pushes this forward. And nothing else will make it happen other than us rising up by the millions. That's why I wanted to start with that Rising Up video tonight. But thanks for watching, guys. And please participate and comment and let me know what you're saying. Because Jack is, as he says, the top fan. There is, when you get top fan ability on your page, like you get badges. We have badges now on our Revolution War Room. By the way, join the page. I shared this out to a bunch of places. I'm sure that some of you shared it out. Everyone that we have in here, like the page. This is my page. This is the home of the Daily Burn. And we just got badges is what I was getting at. And I think there's 5 top fan badges that it gives out depending on how much you interact and participate and like and share and all that. I guess it has some kind of algorithm or way of figuring it out, but I think it's neat. I like it. But so far, I got a few viewers that have top fan badges, and I get excited every time I see it. This says, my son saw a shooting star as soon as Bernie took the stage last night. I was on the phone with him. Wow, that's a cool story. I want to go to a Bernie rally so bad. That would be incredibly awesome. They seem to be just an atmosphere that would be magical. And that's what's beautiful about this revolution and about what Bernie's doing is he's empowered the people, inspired the people. And that will be the reason why this succeeds. That's what's so genius about his whole approach in this fight and the way that he's handled it is that it's going to succeed because he empowered the people. No one's done that. I'm not seeing anyone do that. Like Kennedy tried to attack it from the top down. You can't do that. That's impossible. You have to empower the people. It took him 40 years, but Bernie's laid the groundwork. He's given us a path to victory, a clear path to victory. And if we embrace it and do all that we can, we can't be stopped. We will succeed. Now, they will try to stop us and do everything they can to stop us. But I wanted to at least try to be a voice that pushes us forward. And if we have enough people that have that opinion and that frame of mind, this can't be stopped. Steve says, Bernie rallies are magical. I've been to a couple. I can't wait to go. The next time that Bernie Sanders comes anywhere near me, I will be going to that rally. I don't usually do this on the Daily Burn, but I'm going to be honest and break the fourth wall for a second. I am stressing out, and I have been this entire feed. I practiced all day to get some of the settings right and to start going from tab to tab better, and I've been practicing that and trying to get better because I try to do a good show for you guys. I try to make it entertaining and professional as I can, but I've been nervous this entire time and distracted, so I hope that hasn't come across. I tried to plan really well so that you wouldn't be able to tell. But it's neat that this is able to handle all of this, because the old computer, it wouldn't have been able to do half of this. Jack says, I forgot to tell you I saw a UFO this morning on my walk. I want to hear about that. I want to hear about that. I wish... Oh. I was going to try to reply to that. I can't even get to the keyboard in this setup. I'm going to try to get a better setup for the show. I want to get some more devices, and I want to get some new camera and a new mic and some new things. But I need to get a tablet so that I can look at multiple pages at the same time. Like I can interact with Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So if you can support the shows and you want to support the shows, there are ways to do that now. And one of them is Super Chat on YouTube. It is a fantastic little tool, and it allows you to support the show. And I also have a Patreon and a PayPal, and that's just my little plug, because I want to do things coming up. I want to interview candidates, and the service to do that on, unless you can point me in the direction of a good free one, costs $30 a month. So there are expenses to this show. It's not like anybody's trying to get rich. You know, I had someone accuse me of that, just because from time to time I'll drop a plug during the show. So I had someone accuse me of that. If you'll forgive me on YouTube, I just want to see what this does. I just want to see what this does. So I'm going to do something, and you'll only notice it if you're on YouTube. But I want to see what that did. I don't know what that did. It says it did something. I didn't see it do anything. If you were on YouTube, did you notice anything just now? Did anything happen? I just did that out of curiosity. Jack says, I would love to see Bernie and Nina. Oh my God, can you imagine to get Bernie or Nina in here in the war room to do an interview? That would be fantastic. Ben Cohen would be a great interview. I'm going to reach out to a lot of people, but I want to interview Bernie Kratz, candidates and different things, and experts. I want to get experts on these policies, on things like Medicare for All, on the tax plan, because the things that we get a lot of pushback on, and experts on math. Dolores might be able to point me at a lot of experts in that area that would be willing to come on a little show and explain how these things work to people. That's what I want to do, is open up those kind of possibilities. So that's why support of the show is important. And independent media, it's nothing to sneeze at. And it depends on support. So people shame me, like I was going to tell you, like we've already broke the fourth wall. I almost should change the set, because we're just talking among friends now. But people try to shame me for trying to build this up. But it isn't free. And it takes a lot of effort and time and money to do something like this. So people that see value in it like to support it, and I don't see anything wrong with that. That's the way it is now. But I would love to interview people like Ben Cohen. That would be awesome. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for watching, and thank you for allowing me to vent a little bit. Sometimes that accidentally happens. I think one of the reasons why it happened is because I get my memory of that incident of being called out about doing ads is still fresh in my mind, and it was months ago. I'm like that with things like that, though. I obsess over small details and little things. But thank you guys for watching, and thanks for participating in the show and hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. Some announcements coming up on the other shows that we do, Conspiracy Theories and Chill. Not this week, but next week, I'm going to be interviewing a Freemason. I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be making some promotional materials and getting stuff ready for that. And I'll probably do some more experiments trying to tweak and get things right and learn this computer. And I apologize, but that's the only way I know how to learn. So hopefully you guys like hanging out with me as much as I like hanging out with you, because you'll probably see another experiment and trial run to try and get things perfect and ironed out. Plus, I want to figure out what I can and can't do. You know, I just want to know the limitations. But thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to me ramble if you've hung out and stayed to the end. Like I said, you may see me again tonight on the main timeline. And follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at Sean Yankee. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow on the next episode of The Daily Burn. Unless we cancel, I got to see what time the debate starts. Tomorrow's the debate. If you didn't know, tomorrow's the next debate, and then Nevada's on the 22nd. So I got to see what time the debate starts. If the debate's going to start at 7, I might just do a Daily Burn debate watch party instead, and we'll watch the debate together. So we'll see, because I'm not going to compete with that again. I did that once before, and it didn't really go well. So we'll figure it out. I'll announce what's going to happen. We may do a debate watch party, like I said. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.